All right, we are live. We are ready to go. It's not Saturday. It's Friday. It feels like Sunday. It also certainly doesn't feel like Friday, but that's what the holidays do to you. First and foremost, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I wasn't on yesterday because of the holiday. I hope everyone was safe. Everyone had fun. Everybody somehow won all the money in NFL. So then we could take that money and run it up right now with college football. There's a bunch of games on Black Friday, and we're here to talk about them. We're going to run through them. We're going to build out our patented teaser of the day, talk about the boost, talk about the promos, talk about tails, and have a good time. So we're going to dive in. We're going to give people just a few minutes because they're probably hungover amongst other things. And I will get out this tweet, and then we'll be all set. Quick and easy. Just give me 1 second here. And like I said, we're going to get it going right here right now. All right. Oh boy, yeah. Yesterday was a day, let me tell you. But I think we're in good shape. Live talking CFB. Here we go. So please explain the way I should trust Texas today about everything they've put me through this season. That's a great question, my friend, because I also bet Texas today, and it feels quite uncomfortable. But we're gonna get to that game, of course. But I do trust them today, and I do think they're gonna win, and it's gonna be a minor upset, and they're gonna knock Texas A&M off, and Texas A&M is gonna be fine in life, and Texas is still probably almost assuredly not going to make it, but that's irregardless. They're going to win today, I think. But that is a later game. We're going to go in order because there's not that many games. And we have luxury. We can actually get to all of them here. So we'll take the questions, show you what I bet already, and then we'll be down to straight business here. Let's start with the Egg Bowl. Need a 2 to 3 money line lock parlay. I want to get my expert. Yeah, I feel this. Let's go. We got you covered right here. It might be a little Ole Miss action because I do think they're going to grind this out. Like I said, it's the Egg Bowl today. Ole Miss hitting the road in Starkville to take on their bitter rivals. Who knows where Ole Miss's coaching carousel will land them in the future, but they do sit at a very lofty 10-1 with the lone loss at Georgia. No shame there. Since Georgia, they beat Oklahoma, which aged really nicely. South Carolina and the Citadel, not as nicely, but that doesn't really matter. Beat Florida. They're doing everything they need to do. Now, Mississippi State on the other side has had a better year than I would have thought, but they did start 4-0, and they've lost 6 of 7. It hasn't been great. Their only win was a 3-point win to Arkansas. The defense has fallen apart. They've given up 45, 35, 41, and 49 in the last 4 weeks. I don't know if they're going to be able to slow down Ole Miss. So that is step one here. Now, 7.5, you do see it is juiced on the other side. So this could tick to 7 at any moment. Let's see where it is here. It already has ticked to 7 on DraftKings. If you want to lay the points, you're looking at minus 300-ish, minus 280. So there you go. If you're looking for that money line parlay, and there are some boosts and promos that can help you out in there. I don't have anything glamorous to say about the game. I think ultimately Ole Miss's offense will find ways. It's clearly a rivalry game. We know all this. And Mississippi State has represented themselves really well this year against some elite competition. There's no doubt. Now, they haven't won those games, but they were right there against Texas. They were there against Tennessee. Georgia was pretty bad. A&M was pretty bad. This is probably in the middle there, but honestly, I think these are pretty efficient lines. Doesn't mean we can't look to Ole Miss on that money line as a piece. Will I go tomorrow morning as well? I may give you some brief thoughts, but I will be live again. I misread your message, so just don't listen to me. Yes, I will be live tomorrow. Yes, absolutely, my friend. It's just post-Thanksgiving, my brain does not work. I will be live tomorrow. So we're focusing on Friday right now. And yeah, so let's get it started right here. If you want a game in the early Egg Bowl, 11:58 kickoff, apparently, it's nothing too exciting. It's going to be something like this, not together. I guess you could do it together, but Ole Miss is a moneyline parlay piece. We'll construct that at the end of the show. All right. Utah and Kansas. Utah, I would say, and I'm going to do this for reference just to show you what teams where they're at. So Ole Miss, heavy favorite to make the playoff. Look at this, minus 430. Utah's about 5-1, I believe. Okay, plus 410 to make the playoffs. So they have some equity. but you're, talking 15, 20% at best. Obviously, that drops to 0.0% if they lose this game. I don't expect them to lose this game. The one thing about Utah right now, they are absolutely rolling on offense. It's not a defensive Utah Utes team that we're used to. Crazy points. In the last 4 games, 53, 45, 55, and 51 they've scored. They allowed 47 to Kansas State. They allowed 28 to Baylor. No real shame there. Absolutely massacred Cincinnati. And then I'm not even going to talk about Colorado. They're not worthy of being mentioned. Kansas at home, looking to go 6-6, bowl eligibility probably on the line. 2 straight road games. They come home. I don't really know what they have left, and I'm not sure they're the caliber here. They've lost 4 of 5, and their lone win was Oklahoma State, who has a whopping 0 wins against FBS competition this year. But maybe we can attack the over at 60.5. Let's see what it is on DraftKings as well, because I tell you what, the way that no available bets, that seems misleading. I don't think that's accurate, DraftKings. I'm going to refresh this. But the thing about Utah right now, how many points can they give us just on their side? I mean, they've been absolutely fantastic on offense for about a month now. And I look at this at 60.5, slightly juiced to the over, 60.5 minus 110. I'm going to go there because I think you could look to a Utah team total, but just doing the math in my head, you're talking about that's about 35. It's going to be around that if we look for their team total. I certainly think they can get there. If it's 35 and a hook, 35 and a hook. So, 38, 42, 41, all those type of points are going to do it for us. And then it's just a question of how often does Utah clear this but not clear the game total? So what would you rather do? Would you rather have the extra equity that Kansas gives you, say, 28, 34, something like that, and then it lowers Utah's team total? Or would you say, I don't want to get in a situation where Utah wins 42-10 and or 38-14, and I don't have enough points for the over, but Utah eclipses their team total? I prefer this one at minus 110. I do think Kansas will score. I don't think Utah blows them out. And if the game is completely sluggish, not that we want that, but no matter what you pick, whether it's the over or the team total, you're gonna lose. I think Utah clears that team total. I don't think Kansas will be so inept that they can't give us 24 or whatnot. So you can structure it either way. Utah's just been extremely explosive with that offense. So give me the Utes in some fashion. If it starts slow, maybe you pick them up live. But yeah, Utah's in a good spot, and they continue to put up points in bunches. Iowa and Nebraska. Honestly, I really don't have anything here. Iowa plays such an ugly style. I guess I would look to an under, but this is such a low number. Nebraska's absolutely horrendous. It's a really tough sell for me. I was bullish on Nebraska this year. 7-4 is not the worst thing I've ever seen, but they just never made a mark. They were not able to get it done against any ranked teams. They were blown out at Penn State. Pretty bad game. I'd say pass. If you guys want to circle back to it at the end, we can. I'd rather talk about Kent State, who deserves a lot of credit this year. Kent State has been awesome, and they've been one of the bigger overachievers compared to where they are. UMass took their crown for the worst team of all time. Kent State's 4-7. Kent State has won a road game this year. I know these things sound trivial, but these are like multi-year droughts that they handled. Now, Northern Illinois is pretty bad. 2-5 in the MAC, 3-8 overall, and here's their wins. They beat Holy Cross to open the year by 2 points. Holy Cross is an FCS school. They beat UMass by 42 points. UMass is the single worst team I've ever seen. I'm not even exaggerating. And they beat Ball State by 14. Ball State is 4-7 in the MAC as well. All of those were at home. They are at home here, so I will admit that. I like the points with Kent State, though. I think these are two awful teams. They're not even awful. They're just straight bad. It's not even to take shots at them. I'll take 5.5. I use this in my no sweat bet over at Tails. FanDuel's offering a no sweat, so you want to rev it up a little bit. And I just put this in, actually. So I'll bring this up. I put in a Kent State plus 5.5, Texas money line, San Diego State money line plus 679 or 678. I like this. And again, it's the no sweat bet. So you get an opportunity there to tail that. You get an opportunity to get your stake back in bonus bets if your bet does not hit. And if you guys don't know about this, obviously, this is over on tails. This is where I'm dropping all my bets. This is where hundreds of people are dropping the content every day. And the sickest part about it, you see that button right there? And this is free. Come over here and press tail. It syncs it to you. It will show you all the books. It will show you all the odds, and you can get right in with a couple clicks. It is that simple, and then you're in on the action. No doubt about it. You can follow me so you get alerted every single time I drop a play, and certainly going to have college basketball today, college football, NFL parlays. There's no doubt about it. If you have not been on Tails, I'm going to drop the link for you in just a second because it's just absolutely changing the game, and it's a blast. I've been loving it, and I hope you guys have been enjoying it. I know a lot of people checking out what I've been doing there. But yeah, go over to Tails, follow me, and let's have some fun. Make some money as well. That's what it's all about. But yeah, I'm on Kent State today. No doubt about it. Let's get back to the board, though. Let's get back to the board. Air Force and Colorado State. I wanted to back Air Force. We can keep digging, and if I do get anything, I will alert people on Tails. But I'm pretty certain that Air Force's quarterback is still hurt. It was such a disaster without him. It's really hard for me to have much of an interest in this Falcons team without him. Maybe it's just me and Falcons because the Atlanta Falcons always kill me. Air Force has killed me this year. I'm pretty sure Bowling Green didn't help me. But yeah, they scored 3 points against New Mexico, and they really missed the quarterback. Air Force, last week, they had 51 yards passing, and they only rushed for 2.3 yards per carry. That's not going to get it done for a triple option school. Colorado State has fallen on hard times. They're bad. These are two bad teams. If you want to go with the single lane that Air Force absolutely just guts them on the ground, I totally get that. There is definitely a case to be made that that's exactly what happens because Colorado State has serious issues. But it is hard to back a team like Air Force right now with no real identity. A couple of years ago, they were very legitimate. This year, not great. But I'm just going to pull up very quickly for you just a couple of metrics. I will do our due diligence here with Colorado State because, like I said, it's been pretty bad. Colorado, yeah. So this is why it's no surprise that you still see Air Force as a slight favorite. Colorado State on the year is giving up 5.4 yards per attempt on the ground. It's 130th in the country. That's so horrendously bad. I can't even overstate or understand. I don't know which one it is. I'm stating that it's really bad. So I still think even with the inept quarterback play, you might want to look at Air Force. I have not bet them. I don't know if I will. There's a chance, though, just having seen that. We're going to get to Texas A&M and Texas in just a minute, but I'm going with the Longhorns. Let's talk about North Texas first. We had somebody. Oh, Rich asked us, what do we think of North Texas? Well, again, let's think about this. Not that this means that they're going to win, but they certainly can't be looking past anything at this point. They're a straight coin flip to make the college football playoff. North Texas has battled back. Now, it is a lot of points. If you're going to do it, the time is now because they've been taking money. They're certainly taking right now, and you don't want to get over 3 touchdowns. North Texas is crazy explosive, super offense, at times legitimately anti-defense. They gave up 63 points in their loss. They have scored 53 or more points in 4 of 5. That's just crazy. I mean, that's a lot of points. They are maybe the most explosive offense in the country relative to competition. Temple's no pushover. Temple's 5-6. They're fighting, but they just don't have the horses. They just lost by 24 to Tulane. That was at home. They lost to Army. They lost by 31 to ECU. They've beaten up on some pretty bad teams. They beat UMass. That's, as we talked about. They beat Howard. That's an FCS school. UTSA, that's a quality win relative to the league. But even UTSA, they're 6-5 on the season. Let's not get crazy. They beat Charlotte. Charlotte's 0-7 in the conference and 1-10 on the season. and they beat Tulsa. Tulsa's 1-6 in the conference, 4-7 on the year. Temple really has no identity. It's just a matter of, does North Texas win by 18, 24, 16, 12, 39? I don't really know, but when you score this many points, 20.5 is diluted. So this is another game. If you want to go teaser style, which hint hint, I think we might be doing. But yeah, North Texas, crazy implied total, mean green or pass for me. Now, Georgia and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech last week was extremely disappointing. I was very sure that they were going to win. And they were down 28-0 instantly, and then they started to play football. And they battled all the way back. And I'm pretty convinced they would have won. And then Haynes King threw a 100-yard interception for a touchdown, and that ended basically all hope. And for them, all hope has been extinguished. They are, I don't even know if they're on this thing. They shouldn't be, because they're not going to make the playoff. They're 55-1 to make the playoff. They're drawing to like multiple teams just get wiped off the face of the earth or something, or they expand the playoff in real time. They're not going to make it. Georgia has no margin for error, but they're also minus 600 to win this game in Atlanta, blah, blah, blah. Dogs are pass, teaser piece, pretty simple. Georgia will wear them down. I'd lean to the over the under, just because Georgia has started slow. And Georgia Tech's defense, as you saw what Pittsburgh did to them, Georgia Tech's defense is just not that good. I was really backing them. And on the flip side, Georgia's defense relative to Georgia is not that good this year. They have given up points in bunches to a lot of teams, particularly early. We saw Ole Miss absolutely destroy them for at least a couple quarters on defense, and then they settled in a bit, made the stops when they needed to. But Georgia gives up points. So if Georgia Tech can give us 20, 24, I think we get there. And I do think that's possible. I also think it's possible that Georgia scores 40 points on their own. Maybe a Georgia team total. Let's see what that is. Again, it's going to be in that same range of like a 30, I don't know, 33 maybe. I'm trying to do this in my head. 37.5. So that's, yeah, there you go. 37, 23 for Georgia, 22.5. Yep. I actually don't mind that. 38 points for the dogs. You see, they're taking money. Look at this. It's steaming already. Just me saying it, maybe. This could go on the card. I actually do not mind this. And Georgia as a greasy parlay piece also is playable. San Diego State and New Mexico. I did put New Mexico, as I mentioned, into one of my bets already. Or New Mexico, I'm sorry. I put San Diego State in my bet already. It's just New Mexico is a quality team. I have nothing to say bad about them. It's just more I wasn't super impressed with their level of competition. And it's not that they're playing the same teams, but in terms of who New Mexico has beaten, obviously score differential, you don't want to play that game. It's a slippery slope, but I do want to go through this as an 8-3 football team. So they lost to San Jose State, they lost to Boise State, they lost to Michigan. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Here's the 5-game win streak. They beat Nevada by 2 points. Nevada's 3-8. They beat Utah State by 19. That's pretty solid. Utah State's a middle of the pack team. They went on the road and they beat UNLV. That's a fantastic win. They won by 5, 40-35 in that game. That's a really impressive win. There's no doubt about it. Now, you look at the game, UNLV had 3 turnovers in that game. They probably should have won, but they didn't. That's whatever. They beat Colorado State at home by 3 points. That's horrendous. And then they beat Air Force with no quarterback last week, 20-3. I'm not super impressed by that. San Diego State is a 9-2 football team. They lost to Hawaii out there. That's a horrible trip. And they lost to Washington State early in the year. Other than that, they beat Cal 34-0. Got through Northern Illinois, beat Colorado State by 21, beat Nevada on the road by 34, beat Fresno on the road by 23, beat Wyoming by 17, beat Boise by 10, and they beat San Jose State by 22 last week. Really impressive double-digit wins in the majority of these games. Now, San Jose State's fallen on hard times, but the rest of that was pretty quality. Boise State, Wyoming's somewhat middle of the pack, Fresno's 7-4, and they crushed Nevada. They crushed Colorado State. I like this team. They're defensively sound. quarterback play is not the most prolific, but they can run the ball. Lucky Sutton's a good player. I like the Aztecs in this game. All right, let's keep it going here. We're almost to the big game. Don't worry. It's on the screen. We're going to be there in two minutes. Boise State and Utah State. Honestly, I'll save us some time here. I'm passing on this game. I don't have a feel. Two irrelevant teams in the Mountain West. And I'll probably pass on this game. Indiana and Purdue. Indiana can name their score. It's a rivalry game. Indiana tends to show no mercy, so it's hard to even think of Purdue in like a teaser piece or anything because Purdue's horrendous. Pass. Texas A&M and Texas. Here's the game. Game of the day. Well, it's simple for me. I'm betting Texas, no doubt about it. Money line or spread or both. I like the spot for the Longhorns. But let's talk about the teams. So, Texas A&M is undefeated. They've been absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to try to take apart what they're doing, A, because I like them, and B, Texas A&M is undefeated. Now, all right, early in the year, they beat Notre Dame by 1 point on the road. It aged nicely. At the time, it didn't look great. Notre Dame already had a loss, and now they had two. SEC schedule, favorable, I would say. This team dodged Georgia. This team dodged Ole Miss. This team dodged Alabama. So they're big wins on the year. They beat LSU on the road, crushed them. But LSU was falling apart, and that was part of the catalyst. Texas A&M took their soul, and Brian Kelly got fired pretty recently, right after that game. Missouri on the road. Impressive. Crushed them again. Missouri also kind of fallen on some hard times relative to they were rolling at home. And in that game, Texas A&M had Missouri had no quarterback. Matt Zollers played. He had under 100 yards passing. So you look at it, and A&M has handled their business in recent weeks. They were down, we all saw, I think it was 28-0 at halftime or whatever the other day against South Carolina, and they rallied and they won. They've answered the challenge at every point they needed to. They have a couple, not fatal flaws, but flaws. They commit a ton of penalties, and their turnover margin is not great. So that is concerning if you're an A&M backer, probably more for the playoffs than this, because Texas A&M is in. Doesn't really matter what happens here. Texas is probably out no matter what. But it's a huge game. They're undefeated at home. They're certainly going to be up for the game. I'm not worried about anything like that. And they do have an outside chance if like Auburn wins and Michigan gets crushed, Vanderbilt loses, some of those type of teams. Yeah, Texas 25-1. It's not impossible by any stretch. Unlikely, but not impossible. And if they win, obviously that number is going to go down. So let's talk about Texas. They start the season at Ohio State and they lose. That's aged very nicely. Ohio State's potentially the best team in the country. Arch, it is what it is. Rattles off some games. They lose at Florida. That's a pretty bad loss. He was terrible in that game. Then they beat Oklahoma. They get on a run. They beat Vanderbilt. They go to Georgia, and they get pretty much crushed. And that's the third loss. So the losses at Ohio State, at Georgia, and at Florida. Two elite losses and one loss. So I look at Texas. They've been strong at home. They are healthy outside of Anthony Hill, who I really hope plays. He's an elite talent. We will see. He broke a bone apparently in his hand. He's a linebacker. They could use him, no doubt about it. A&M's missing a couple pieces here and there, but mostly both teams are intact. I look at Texas. You can't run on them. They commit a lot of penalties, but their turnover margin's fantastic. They can force a lot of turnovers. And whether it's lucky or not, turnovers are high variance. But that can be the difference in these games. If Texas wins the turnover battle, I think they have a very good shot. If they lose the turnover battle, like most teams, look at the Ravens last night, you have no chance if you commit 3 or 4 turnovers. But I look at Texas, and personnel-wise, they can handle A&M. Hostile environment. Texas has rolled at home. You could say level of competition. Who's really come in there because Oklahoma's neutral? I get it. I'll take the points. I'll take the money line. I'll use Texas on the boost today. What do I think of the Texas A&M plus 3.5 bet? Obviously I'm on the other side. I totally get it, but you shouldn't, or you can do whatever you want. I would never recommend teasing through 0 though. You just give up you give up a lot of equity if you do that. So it's just about the number you get, but Texas A&M at plus 3.5 is going to be very juiced. There's no doubt about it. Now, if they win the game, it doesn't matter. If they lose by 3, it doesn't matter. But over time, it's a tough sell. Last game, Arizona and Arizona State. I do lean to the Sun Devils in the desert. Tough game. Both teams are very, very respectable. It's not going to be my favorite. Maybe if Texas is rolling, I'll add something on tails late. And for anyone that missed it, I'm telling you, just come over to Tails and find what works for you. Whether you're looking for picks for me, which would be amazing, or you say, you know what, I don't even know what I want. I just want to poke around. We have trending topics wired up, so you can just say, okay, I want college football today. I want parlays today. I want boosts and promos. I want only Black Friday football, Bears and Eagles. And you will get bets that just fit that. Look at all the bets pouring in from all sorts of people. Find people that you like, follow them, and then you get alerted anytime that happens. If you don't know who to follow, you say, I want to poke around, go to the leaderboards. Check out who's been running hot, who's making long shot parlays, who's trending, who else are people following. Stuff like that is where you can do it. Or if you know who you want to follow, just search them. But honestly, with all the free content over at Tails, you're just missing out if you're not taking advantage of this. Again, it's a really cool community, and everyone that uses this product, they love it. Because what are you missing out on? Like I said, just bets dropping all the time. Really, really fun. You can find me over there at Jazzraz, of course. Give me a follow. Have some fun with it. All right. We've gone through these games. There's only one thing left to do, friends. It's to build the teaser. If Laffy was here, which he is not, I would tell him to make some sound effects. Here we go. Eating the ducks. Yeah, I don't know why that's a sound effect. All right, let's whip one up here. It might have to be a 2-day teaser. I'm not going to lie, but we could get it started today. Look at Kent State. They just moved. I'm getting some closing line value there. I like that. All right. Here we go. Here we go. North Texas, Georgia. That's 2. You could make a case for Texas, but I'm already so exposed to Texas that I don't really want to do that, to be completely honest. I'm going to go into Saturday real quick to make the teaser. I know we haven't talked about these games, but I'm going to have to do that on the fly. It's just a product of what we're doing here. Man, there's so many wacky games tomorrow. All right, let's see what we can find. Let's see what we can find. A lot of these I don't want to cross like this, even though I do like that. Rutgers getting 27.5. I'll take Minnesota, the 38-point total here. Hokies plus 22.5. Don't mind if I do, but seriously, I'm not doing that. Oh, I'll roll with Bill again. Chapel Bill. All right, there it is. How UNC loses these games is beyond me. But you know the drill here. We've got our 14-point degenerate teaser. Let me zoom in for you guys. Apologies. We've got North Texas. We've got Georgia. We've got Minnesota. And we got UNC. 2 today, 2 tomorrow. A 2-day sweat. We are in business. It'll be posted on Tails momentarily. So if you want to tail it, you can do so right there in just a few minutes. Simple and easy as that. Friends, holiday weekend is ensuing. Hopefully you're off from work. You get a chance to watch these games, have some fun, and come sweat bets with us all day here on Tails. If you have any questions for me about the platform, about the bets, about life, you know where to find me at Jazzraz Bets, right over on X, and of course, as part of the Stochastic and Tails family. Thank to you. Thanks for hopping in with me, man. This show is so much more fun because we have such a good audience, It streams a couple different places, but just all the people checking it out, asking questions. That's what makes it fun. So I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Let me talk a little college football before the games kick off. You got a nice hour to go do what you need to do, and then the games begin. So on that note, friends, let's make some money today, find some edges, cash some tickets, and have some fun. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. We'll recap all this. We'll talk about Saturday, same time, same place.